Support for NPR and the following message come from IXL Learning. IXL Learning uses advanced algorithms to give the right help to each kid no matter the age or personality. Get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when you sign up today at IXL.com/NPR.
What's one of the best memes that you've seen recently?
So I'm going to out myself as a Swiftie. I have really been enjoying all of the repurposing of the audio from Taylor's appearance on New Heights with Travis and Jason Kelce.
Listen, I know that sometimes memes fall in and out of fashion. I like what I like. And I have to say, the Jet 2 holiday ones, they're consistently hitting for me all summer. I'm sorry. Hello, hello. I'm Brittany Luce, and you're listening to It's Been a Minute from NPR, a show about what's going on in culture and why it doesn't happen by accident. This week, we're connecting the dots between Studio Ghibli, white supremacists, and posting. I know. How are all of these things connected? Well, we're going to find out with NPR correspondent Shannon Bond and Joan Donovan, assistant professor of journalism and emerging media studies at Boston University and founder of the Critical Internet Studies Institute. Shannon, Joan, welcome to It's Been a Minute.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So we're here to talk about memes, specifically the ones posted by the White House and DHS Twitter accounts. Can you describe to me some of the memes that stick out most to you?
You know, they do hop on trends. So they've used the Jet 2 holiday trend. But then they also have this weird Americana retro nostalgia where they're using paintings and postcards as a stand-in for America's history.
Yeah, that Jet 2 one, to explain in a little more detail, there's a popular TikTok sound that comes from a commercial for the budget British airline Jet 2. And the White House account put it over a video of people being loaded onto a plane and deported. I should also say Jet 2 responded by saying, quote, "This is not endorsed by us in any way, and we are very disappointed to see our brand being used to promote government policies such as this." What about you, Shannon? Can you describe to me some of the memes that most stick out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the ones that I've been most interested in kind of fall under that second category Joan was talking about, this sort of these nostalgic depictions of American history in the style of World War II, World War I, recruitment posters.
Yeah.
Heavy use of Uncle Sam. And the idea is about explicitly recruiting more ICE agents, right? They got all this money in the big, beautiful bill for immigration enforcement. And a huge part of that is they're just trying to onboard more people to ICE. And so they've turned to this very kind of throwback style.
The meme that has stuck out most to me, it was a Studio Ghibli style meme of a real Dominican woman crying in handcuffs after being arrested by ICE. It just felt like a little bit too much context collapse for me. The AI of it all, the Studio Ghibli style, the memeified joke, I guess, that's supposed to be made of, this person being arrested by an ICE agent. I just found it really disturbing. We've seen memed out government accounts before. The Twitter account for the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation definitely comes to mind. But for me, I think what's notable is that this appears to be a long-term social strategy, one that we haven't yet seen from the federal government. And what ties their memes together is a tone that's both celebratory of the administration and its actions and mocking of the people affected or upset by those actions. I really want to know what's behind this strategy. Who are these memes speaking to? What are they trying to say? And what do they reflect about how our political culture has changed? So, off the jump, why memes? What do these government accounts get out of making and using them?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple things going on. To some degree, this is the currency of social media, right? Posts with images do well. Memes themselves are very much the language on many of these platforms, especially X. They also sort of serve this role of, it's you're kind of part of the club, right? You get the reference. Maybe you think it's funny. You heard the Jet 2 audio somewhere else, and then you're seeing it here. And so there's that, you're kind of part of this community, I think, sense that it gives people. I also think there is this function where, the kind of tone where it is mocking, making fun, it does allow some gap of plausible deniability. Like, oh, why are you taking this so seriously? It's just a joke.
Like LOL JK.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you're being so triggered by this. I think what we're seeing in many of these examples, it's putting out ideas that I think many people are understandably seeing as quite extreme, really kind of beyond the pale of what you would normally expect from like a government account. But it's framed in this way that like, you know, did they really mean it? Did they not mean it? Like this kind of ironic detachment, I think, can really serve them.
Yeah, I think the humor really is about demarcating insiders and outsiders. You're either in on the joke and you get the reference, or you're outside of it and maybe you don't even understand what's happening and you just move on. The way in which humor was employed by the alt-right in 2016 and 2017 is almost exactly the same way. The intent there with the humor is once you get someone laughing about it, you can actually get them to try to defend that position as a defense of free speech. And this is something that the Daily Stormer, which is a neo-Nazi website, put out a style guide about how to use memes in the culture war and how if you can get people to laugh, then you can get them to defend. You know, in reaction to stories that are coming out about the ICE DHS memes, they're saying, oh, we're posting these banger memes, which is kind of funny because in meme culture, these are all considered forced memes.
They're not like organic in the way that like I think the most enduring and most impactful memes are.
The best memes are completely authorless. They're not branded. They're not recruiting. They're just doing the work, the culture work of making someone laugh.
Something that's really interesting to me is that in the past, these kinds of top-down memes, politicians and corporations making memes has been rather dunk-worthy over the years. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that's as uncool as it used to be, at least not for Trump's base.
Yeah, I mean, we think back to like last summer, right, with, the Kamala HQ Twitter account.
Oh, Kamala's brat.
Right. And, I think there was a mix in reactions. Like some people were like, this is great. They're like talking to the youngs. But I think there was a lot of it that was like, this is just cringy. This is like, hello, fellow kids vibe. And like
Yeah.
When I think about the administration's use of memes, I also think directly back to the Trump campaign in 2024, their sort of use of memes. I mean, Trump himself frequently on, less so on X because he's more active on Truth Social, but very much on Truth Social. He was constantly reposting AI-generated images that his followers had made, all kinds of content. Like that was that more kind of like bottom-up, like stuff that other people had created, and then he was just sort of reposting it out there.
Yeah.
And this does feel like a bit of a natural evolution of that. They're grabbing these ideas and putting out there because they see this reaction. And even though it is more top-down and in many cases kind of punching down, it still does have this attraction for this audience. They are very much operating in like this recruiting point of view. Like the people to whom this is appealing are the people they're trying to reach. And some of those people, they're literally trying to get them to like sign up for ICE.
I think that this is also rage bait, the kind of interaction that they get that's either show us the Epstein files or this is disgusting. Why would you do this? All of that is counted in social media engagement as any engagement. It doesn't matter if it's negative or positive.
Shannon, when you asked for comment from agency spokespeople, what did they say to you about the memes?
Yeah, I mean, we sent some, pretty lengthy requests for comment, both to the White House as well as DHS. And kind of in both cases, they gave us pretty short comments. So the White House comment to us was the White House consistently posts banger memes. And then they went on to poke fun at NPR and reference us being defunded. DHS, we had a couple rounds of comment from DHS. We asked a range of questions, but it included about sort of the use of some of these historical paintings. So their response there was, quote, seek help. If the media needs a history lesson on the brave men and women who blazed the trails, forded the rivers, and forged this republic from the sweat of their brow, we are happy to send them a history textbook. This administration is unapologetically proud of American history and American heritage. Get used to it. We did a sort of another round of questions to DHS because there were more memes. One of the things we asked specifically around was a meme that we can talk about that seems to be at least quite similar to the title of a book by a white supremacist who had like neo-Nazi ties. And their response in that case to all of these questions was, quote, calling everything you dislike Nazi propaganda is tiresome. Uncle Sam, who represents America, is at a crossroads pondering which way America should go. So they're not particularly interested in engaging with the media, with the memes in particular. They also maybe can function as like a signal of like authenticity. Like, we're just talking to you. We're not going through the press. And their responses themselves are very much, to me, feel like another way that they're dunking, right? Like they can dunk on NPR while in giving us a comment that they know we're going to use.
Yeah.
That fits the tone, that fits the approach. I will say, we did put the quote about the White House posting banger memes, and the White House spokesperson who gave it to us has now screenshot that quote from the NPR article, and it's now her header image on X.
Interesting. That's interesting.
They're like using the coverage to itself kind of create a form of a meme. It's all very circular.
Oh my gosh. I know it feels like a snake eating its own tail.
Yeah.
These memes are saying a lot. There's a tone, which we described that feels mocking. There's also the fact that one of the memes posted, as you mentioned, Shannon, referenced a white supremacist book called Which Way, Western Man? There are also paintings of westward expansion. I mean, these are very specific references that tell a specific story. What is that story? And why use memes to tell it?
Choosing memes gives, as Shannon had said, this kind of plausible deniability. Memes have this elasticity. Look at depictions of Pepe, in the US, the ADL has called it a hate symbol. But if you look at Pepe in the context of Hong Kong, he's very much a people's liberation icon. The story of America that Trump wants to tell is one of westward expansion, and he wants to continue expanding by taking over Canada. But the thing that sticks with me, though, is how, of all of the meme wars that I've studied, it does end in violence. It ends in things like the Unite the Right rally or January 6th, where you got to sort out the casualties, literally. And so I do worry that this is just one step in the frame up of a new techno-authoritarian state.
Well,
you don't want to live in this head.
No. Shannon, what do you think? What do you think the story is that, these government agencies are trying to tell, or this administration is trying to tell through memes? And why are they using memes to tell it?
I was really struck by the part of the DHS comment they gave us that, where they described, saying this administration is unapologetically proud of American history and American heritage. I don't know intention. I'm not inside their heads. I don't know why they're doing this. But, when I look at sort of how this is being presented, that to me is like a plausible explanation of in part what this is about. They say, we're proud of American history and American heritage. Well, whose history? What heritage?
Right.
And I think they are giving these visual examples that show you exactly what they mean by this, right? So in one case there was a DHS post using this painting, this 19th century painting that is like very closely identified with the idea of manifest destiny. It literally shows this sort of blonde, angelic figure in a white gown, like floating over the land as like settlers in covered wagons are coming across and like Native Americans and bison are fleeing, right? It's like a very literal depiction of the idea of manifest destiny, right?
Yeah.
It is a choice to make that your representation. I mean, the caption they put on that was a heritage to be proud of, a homeland worth defending. They are explaining what it is they want you to defend if you're going to come along and come on board to ICE. And it goes very much in line with the pressure they are putting on the Smithsonian, right, about how American history is presented. Same thing at national parks. This idea of like who gets to tell the story of American history, who gets to present it, what truths like are we including and what are we excluding?
Yeah, I mean, as you note, whose history? I think most of the posts, or at least all the ones I've seen, depict white people and celebrate their settling of the U.S., even at the expense of the lives of millions of Native Americans. I wonder, are the memes a way to make the deportations or the references to white supremacy more casual?
I mean, I think it's literally what they are doing. They're very sort of casually referring to those things and turning them into jokes. And it seems like it could be a response to a lot of uproar, a lot of pushback, including like deeply red parts of America. And I think it's a way of celebrating what is happening rather than, people who are like really upset about it. When you turn everything into a joke, like you're inherently sort of suggesting that it is less serious and that that maybe people don't need to take it seriously, or just, this doesn't affect my life, at the minimum, and at the maximum, it's like cheering it on. And I think they do play that function to a degree.
Joan, Shannon, I've learned so much here. Thank you both so much.
Thanks, Brittany.
Thanks, Brittany.
And to thank you both, I'd like to teach you a little something with a game. Can you stick around for a tiny bit longer?
Of course.
Of course.
Wonderful. All right. Well, when we get back, we are debuting a brand new game. And I am dying to know what you all listening are going to think about it. Stick around.
Support for this podcast and the following message come from Made in Cookware. President and co-founder Jake Kalick shares the key ingredients that go into Made in products.
We try to design products that are going to last you an incredibly long time. And to know that we're making this in places that take the raw materials seriously, take the manufacturing processes seriously, that's ultimately what's going to allow us to sleep better at night selling this product to you.
Learn more about Made in Cookware at MADEIN cookware.com.
This message comes from Sony Pictures Classics with East of Wall, written and directed by Kate Beecroft. An authentic portrait of female cowgirls and their resilience in the New West. Set in South Dakota's Badlands, it follows a rebellious young rancher who rescues horses and shelters wayward teens while navigating grief, family tensions, and the looming loss of her land. Only in theaters, August 15th. This message comes from Schwab. At Schwab, how you invest is your choice, not theirs. That's why when it comes to managing your wealth, Schwab gives you more choices. You can invest and trade on your own. Plus, get advice and more comprehensive wealth solutions to help meet your unique needs. With award-winning service, low costs, and transparent advice, you can manage your wealth your way at Schwab. Visit schwab.com to learn more.
All right, I am going to debut in real time a brand new game. And for all of you listening, I need your feedback. Listen along and let me know in the comments if you love it. Okay, the working title of this new game is Wait, What?
Wait, what?
And we're going to run through some stories of the week. And Shannon and Joan, you're going to guess who did what. But don't worry, it's all multiple choice. The right answer's in there somewhere. We're giving you some options, okay? The person with the most points wins. If you're ready, please shout into the microphone and let me know.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm ready for it.
All right. I love that. Whoop, whoop. We are ready. First question. This celebrity recently had a birthday. And with all this Labubu craze, it may come as no surprise that the birthday cake was Labubu themed, with a giant sculpted Labubu made out of frosting that I have to mention did inexplicably have breasts.
Why?
Written on this cake was Happy Birthday, Madudu. My question is this, Shannon, Joan, who is Madudu? Are they A, singer Madison Beer, B, singer and legend Madonna, or C, Maddie Ziegler of Dance Moms?
I don't know. Shot in the dark. Let's go with C.
I mean, when you said Madudu, I was like, oh God, is it Madonna? But that's also because I've never heard of those other two people because I apparently am an old. Probably not Madonna, but I'm going to say Madonna.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shannon, sometimes the lucky guess is the right one. The answer is Madonna.
All right.
Who was celebrating her 67th birthday, a Leo queen. Madudu doesn't necessarily evoke Labubu in the way I think she intended, in my opinion.
No.
Well, I gotta say, following Madonna's logic, that means if her Labubu name is Madudu, then mine is Britutu, or if you're my mom, it's Britanunu, because she uses all three syllables in my name. Shannon, yours is Shanunu.
Shanunu.
And Joan, I guess, Joan, you're Janunu. Mm-hmm. Are y'all vibing? How you feel about these names?
I mean, people have called me Jay Dono before. For my last name's Donovan.
Okay, which is close.
Yeah.
All right, well, question number 2. This past week, a man impersonating this pop star convinced a Las Vegas club to let him on stage and perform some of his songs without the artist knowing about it. Which pop star did this renegade fan impersonate? Was it A, Usher, B, Justin Bieber, or C, Morgan Wallen?
It's a Bieber.
I'm going to piggyback on Joan. It's got to be Bieber.
Justin Bieber, you were right. Point goes to you, Joan. According to TMZ, this guy whose name is not public rolled up to the win, convinced staff and security he was Justin Bieber, demanded a performance slot, and rocked out.
I mean, they should give this man a recording contract, clearly.
If people didn't notice for a few songs, you know. All right, well, as of right now, y'all are tied.
Okay.
Shannon, you've got 1 point, and Joan, you've got 1 point. Okay, last question, tiebreaker. Which media brand got, in my opinion, a horrible rebrand this week?
MSNBC.
Well, let me read the options. Was it A, HBO again?
Ugh.
HBO Go, Max by Max by HBO.
B, Hulu, or C, MSNBC?
Which is now MS Now.
I mean, well, first of all, Shannon, you are correct. The answer is C, MSNBC. Their new name is MS Now, which stands for My Source, and then in parentheses, for, then out of the parentheses, news, opinion, and then in parentheses again, and the, out of the parentheses, world.
If you have to do that to your brand, then it's not working.
Why do you have parentheses in a tagline?
It is giving, we hear, what was it?
We here for you. Just like on Succession. That is exactly what it's giving. But also like Ms.
Now.
I saw someone mention that they were like, oh, my family member, deals with multiple sclerosis. Like, I don't think that they would like to see this. You know what I mean? Like MS Now. Like, I don't know. I'm curious to see how long it lasts. Lord have mercy. Maybe they'll switch back. Has HBO taught us nothing? I don't know. That is it for our inaugural run for our new game. Wait, what? Congratulations to Shannon on your win. And Joan, Shannon, thank you both so much for joining me today.
I'm a sore loser, Shannon, so we're going to fight in the street.
Well, that was NPR correspondent Shannon Bond and Joan Donovan, assistant professor of journalism and emerging media studies at Boston University and founder of the Critical Internet Studies Institute. And for all y'all listening along, please let me know what you thought of this game by commenting on this episode wherever you are listening. This episode of It's Been a Minute was produced by
Liam McBain.
This episode was edited by
Nina Patak.
Our supervising producer is
Barton Girdwood.
Our executive producer is
Verilyn Williams.
Our VP of programming is
Yolanda Sanguini.
All right, that's all for this episode of It's Been a Minute from NPR. I'm Brittany Luce. Talk soon.
This message comes from Mint Mobile. If you're tired of spending hundreds on big wireless bills, bogus fees, and free perks, Mint Mobile might be right for you with plans starting from $15 a month. Shop plans today at mintmobile.com/switch. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5 GB plan required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. This message comes from Warby Parker. Prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Glasses designed in-house from premium materials starting at just $95, including prescription lenses. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.
This message comes from NPR sponsor Capella University. Interested in a quality online education? Capella is accredited by the Higher Learning Commission. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.